everyone, Kuri here with your weekly Oracle card reading. This reading is for November 5th to November 11th. And this week I'm going to be using the Magical Messages from the Fairies Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. And this week I'm using these cards because this morning the fairies said that they really wanted to get in touch with all of us. So they've been very strong and present with me today, so I want to do this reading using these cards. Now, the other things that the messages that I've been getting from the fairies is that right now things have been going very chaotic with energy, especially with the presidential elections in America. A lot of tense energy, a lot of negative energy, and the fairies want us to let go of that energy. As hard as it might be for some of us who really have a political mind, or, are really worried about what's going to happen with America and the world in general. So the fairies want us to try and let this go and have fun, but more importantly, they want to really connect with us this week. So this week, I've been guided to not just do an angel reading and get messages from them kind of regarding about what the week is going to be about, but I want to do a message or a reading that is going to help us in how to connect with the fairies. What should we do? And how the fairy, how I want to know what the fairies want to tell us and how we can connect with them better. And, as nature is starting to change into the winter, we have the nice foliage coming for some of the areas that you might be in. And, the fairies are hard at work, and they're hard at work, but they're hard at play. And that's all there is. It's just all play to the fairies. So let's start this reading. Oh, and before I start, I do want to tell you that the music in the background, if anybody is interested, it is from the CD Deep Within a Fairy Forest. And the CD artist is by Gary Stadler and Wendy Rule. And this song is called Invocation. It's a very, very beautiful song. So if you don't want to go out and buy the CD, but you really are interested in fairies and love fairies, I'm sure you can maybe YouTube it, and I'm sure this song will pop up. But if you really listen to the lyrics, they're really beautiful, and they really do give you a little bit of an insight about who the fairies are and where they live and what they do, and it's a very nice CD, so I highly recommend this CD. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle the cards, and I'm going to draw 3 cards like I always do. We're still going to do the first card being Monday and Tuesday, the second card will be for Wednesday and Thursday, and then the final card will be for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'm just going to ask the fairies what we can do to better connect with them. And my cards are already saying they're shuffled. Okay, this one flew out. So I just asked, what we can do to better connect with them and, give us some messages. Okay, I only drew one card. I'm already getting to do the reading. Haven't drawn all the cards. Okay, here we go. Alright, so for Monday and Tuesday, the fairies say, perfect timing. And the card reads, this is the right time for you to move forward. Right away, the fairies are telling me that this is the perfect time for us to connect with them. And she's showing me, or the fairies are pointing to I'm sorry, you probably can't see because of the leaf. The fairies are pointing right here towards this flower. So if you have flowers in your house or plants in your house, the best way that you can connect with the fairies is to definitely take care of those plants, but also look at your plant or your flowers and ask what fairies reside in that plant. And they could be underneath the leaves, they could be resting on top of the leaves, they could be underneath the soil, near the stems. So if you ask what the name of the fairies that reside in there, And the first name that comes to mind, that's one of the fairies telling you their name. It's all done by psychic intuition. And I mean, it doesn't matter if you get a very strange name or a very common name. For example, I did that with my plant once. I bought it and I said, all right, so what fairy is this plant? You know, what fairy lives within this plant? And the first thing that came to my head was fawn. And that's the name of the fairy that lives within my plant. So I have fairy fawn. And, you know, just really try and connect with the fairies that are in your house, that are in your garden, that are guardians of your gardens. So it's perfect timing to really connect with the fairies. So pretty much they're saying, what are you waiting for? Just connect with us. So now for the middle of the week we have patience, please. And this is what the card looks like. And then the card reads, what you're asking for is coming about. Have patience, as there is unseen factors that need to occur first. Now, the first thing that they're telling me is be patient when trying to communicate with the fairies. They're not telling me this, but I'm telling you guys that the fairies are little egotistical beings. They do have an ego, and they do sometimes, I don't really want to say have a high pride, but they have very high standards, some of the fairies, not all of them. And some of them are not just going to quickly show themselves to you or communicate with you. You have to do something for them. You have to really be patient, be loving, show that you love your plants, show that you love nature. Do something that's really going to help with your house plants or your flowers or your garden or even for the environment. And just remember to practice, but to be patient. And the other thing that she's showing me is right here, the fairy is almost whispering to the butterfly, or at least I think that's a butterfly. And she's saying that fairies' voices can come in whispers as well. So be very, very, quiet when you're around your plants, or put on some nice meditative music. Put on any type of music that's very, has some fairy lyrics, like the CD I'm listening to right now. Or they're also telling me that the fairies like, almost like Irish type of music, that kind of, not Celtic, but they're saying like the barroom type of Irish music, the folk songs, that's what I'm trying to say. They like that upbeat folk type song because they love to dance. So, just remember to be very patient with it, and don't give up, but don't get frustrated if you don't hear anything or if you don't get any signs of the fairies being present. They will be there. Just be patient. And don't try and force anything, because if you say, come on, show me, who are you? They're definitely not going to answer you or even show you. And they might actually run away from you and go to a different inhabitant. So just be patient, please. And then finally for the weekend we have your desire is within reach. And the card says, have faith as everything is working in your favor. So the fairies are just pretty much confirming everything about if you are patient and continue to, ask for their assistance and ask them in nice, polite ways to have them either show you their fairy lights or to communicate with you, then that desire to connect with the fairies will be established. And it is within reach. And this weekend, don't be disappointed if you don't get anything this weekend, because there's always next week. This is an ongoing thing that you can try and connect with the fairies all the time. So it's not just a weekly thing. It's not just a week thing where if this doesn't happen within this time frame, it's never going to happen. You have to keep going and trying. So that is the messages from the fairies this week. I hope you all enjoy this reading. I hope you all are able to connect to the fairies. And the fairies are also just telling me, remember that fairies hang around your animals as well, your pets, your cats, your dogs, your horses, your chickens, your cows, whatever type of animals you have. Fairies do hang around them, and they're guardians. So, just have a nice quiet mind, very relaxed, put on some nice music, do a little bit of a little meditation by breathing in deeply and exhaling deeply, and then, ask for the assistance from the fairies and ask them to either, show you their fairy lights, which will be little twinkles of different colored lights, almost like angel lights, if anybody is familiar with angel lights. Fairy lights, I think, are very quick to flutter, or rather to flicker, sorry. And they can be many different colors. I've seen bright pink to this blue, this purple. I've seen many different colors, all spectrums of the rainbow. So, you might see lights. Again, you might hear some whispering. The fairies are telling me about the flute. You might hear some sort of wood type instruments. So just be aware of your surroundings, but don't try too hard to be aware, if that makes sense. All right, well, that is this week's reading. I will see you all next week. I send you many angel blessings, fairy blessings, love and light, and healing. Namaste.